Hello. How's it going, everyone? Let's get right to it. It may or may not be the last stream of Ace Attorney, depending on how long these couple sections are. But yep. But as you can see, I am dressed up. I am attempting my best Edgeworth cosplay with what I have available. I think I did okay. I got a red jacket, white collar shirt, black vest. I think I'm doing all right for it. Anyway, let's pick off where we left off, which was at the end of the first section of the trial. Also, while I was Googling for Edgeworth to get a picture of him to make sure I got it right, I misspelled his name and found out that apparently Edgeworth is a place if you spell it wrong. It's a little village in England. Small village within the borough of Blackburn. So, who knew? There's only 2,300 people in there. So, nice little town, nice little village. But we can pretend that's where Edgeworth is from. How about that? Excuse me, Mr. Edgeworth. Not really sure what to say. Iris, we only have 20 minutes. There are two things which I need to ask you before we reconvene. Alright, I'll help you any way I can. First, about that night. You really didn't go to the inner temple, correct? The last witness claims to have met and talked with you in the training hall. Either you or Sister Bikini is lying. Mr. Edgeworth, it's just as I said yesterday. Until the incident occurred, I was in my own room, in Hazakura Temple. Very well. The second thing then. That night, the temple snowmobile was used in between the time Sister Bikini returned to the main hall, and when she bore witness to the murder. Sometime between 10:30 and 11 p.m. that night. Were you the one who used the snowmobile? There's only one key for the snowmobile. The only person who could have used it was me. So it was you. But why? Also, hold on. The audio balance, if you're not listening to this with like headphones or whatever, you're probably not having the same issue as me, but the audio on the left side is like a teensy bit lower than the audio on the right. And it's making me think something's wrong. Anyway, but why? What made you go out to Dusky Bridge? I'm sorry, Mr. Edgeworth. Ooh, in the middle of the court session, huh? Iris. I can't tell you about that yet. Yet? Not until her safety is confirmed. Her? The safety of the alkalit. The alkalit, huh? She must be talking about Maya. Iris, look me in the eye and tell me the truth. So is the game really loud? No, it's just me. It's just my headset. Hold on. Okay. Did you kill Elise Duinham? No matter who or what may come, I can never take a life. As I thought, no psycholocks. Very well. It is my job to get to the truth. You'll discover this for yourself soon enough. Court will now reconvene. Miss Von Kalma, where's the witness? During the break, a man was detained for suspicious behavior in the gallery. Suspicious behavior? He was sketching something very intensely. Dare I ask what the witness was sketching when he was detained? He drew a terrifying woman, armed with a demonic face and a vicious whip. I can only presume that his intention was to capture you. Anyway, it's time to drag this pathetic excuse for an artist before the court. Loris Dunham, I hope you're ready. Get in here. It would seem that whip is going to see plenty more use today. Yeah. Your sketch is in contempt of this court. Hey, I was just artistically real. You tried to run away from the bailiff who was trying to hand you your subpoena, correct? Look, I'm nothing but a fledgling artist, trained out in the mountains. I'm only down here in the city because I ran out of green paint. Well, to use the technical term for the color, Viridian. Larry. This isn't an art store, now is it? I know, I graduated junior high, okay? Look, art is all about working in the fields, isn't it? Working in the fields? I presume he wanted to say field work. I hope. That's it. Thanks, buddy. It's kind of sad that I was able to understand his mangled train wreck of a sentence. I just happened to stop in here and found a wonderful new model. So, see? I've got nothing to do with this trial. At all. I expect all your faces to be red when you realize this mistake. Bright red. Or, to use the technical term, Crimson Lake. Stop your pathetic babbling and testify like a man. Refrain from whipping me, Miss Von Karma. Cross-whipping is as bad as cross-checking. Witness, this is all your fault. Testify, now! This is too much for me. Good. What I saw. Was that lounge on lounge? That lounge. Apparently I need to be whipped. I was at that lodge out in the mountains, looking up at the stars that night. I walked to the bridge a number of times, but I didn't see a snowmobile. I didn't see anyone at the bridge that night either. The girl I was waiting for didn't show up. My teacher died on me. I'm all alone now, aren't I, Edgy? Witness, please refrain from talking directly to the lawyers during your testimony. Just a nobody. Nothing but a small, worthless man. Aren't I? Why wasn't I asked for my name and occupation? Or anything else? Mr. Edgeworth, this man seems to have quite a severe inferiority complex. He's recently been the cause of numerous incidents. I think he's finally realized for himself just how much of a nuisance he has been to other people. Yeah, that's right. I'm behind everything, every case. Watch out, okay? Just touching me will make you eternally unhappy. Well then, let us proceed with the cross-examination. With no touching, thank you. We can delve into other details at a later time. Oh, wow, we haven't gotten into it at all. I didn't realize it. Alright, let's start pressing him. Alright, so he was looking at the stars. Whatever's the matter, Mr. Edgeworth? This one single statement is so full of contradictions. For a moment there, I thought I was going to collapse. So, witness, any idea as to where these contradictions in your testimony lie? Depending on your answer, I may stay my whip. Okay, give me a minute. Well, it was snowing that night, so I couldn't possibly have seen the stars. That rundown shack is hardly a lodge, and even the stars could be seen. Isn't like I was there to look at them, right? See, you can do it if you try. There's only one issue here. What you saw at Dusky Bridge. I walked to the bridge a number of times. A number of times? How many? Maybe 5 times? I went once every 20 minutes. Which means you spent almost 2 hours at Heavenly Hall that night? You bet! Real love is all about waiting with your heart in your hands. Love, you say? It was this man's intention to summon the defendant to the small shack, using this blackmail letter. Blackmail? No, that was simply a product of overflowing love. You huffy, puffy, loosey-goosey excuse for a whimpering, whining wuss of a witness. So, what did you see? I hope for your sake you saw a snowmobile. You huffy, puffy, loosey-goosey excuse for a whimpering, whining wuss of a witness, eh? Well, you see, being called those names doesn't seem to bother him at all. I didn't see a snowmobile. Larry, you really didn't see it. Hey, no need to hit your desk. I can hear you. I didn't see it. I didn't see a snowmobile. Larry, say snowmobile for me, please. Snowmobile. If you truly have nothing to hide, then why are you stammering like you just flew over a cuckoo's nest? Shut up! What is this? I don't know. Don't ask me. Seems that I'll need to start from a more obvious contradiction. Going to strike the blow that will finally get him to spill the beans. I didn't see anyone at the bridge that night either. Oh, well, we know he saw Phoenix. I wonder if I should present his profile. You didn't meet anyone. That's right, because I've got nothing to do with this. I'm just here to buy some Viridian paint, okay? Come on, I expect to see those Crimson Lake vases. No. It would appear that simply pressing him is going to be enough, Mr. Edgeworth. Indeed. Seems that he's going to claim to have nothing to do with this to the end. I don't want this guy to cost us any more time. I need to slice through his obvious contradictions and keep things moving along. Sorry, suddenly got the hiccups. Okay. I'm going to try Phoenix. Because we know he definitely saw Phoenix that night. Oh, sweet. That's it. Larry Butts. I can understand why you might want to throw your old life away. You're pretty pathetic, and you caused all sorts of troubles. I'm sorry. But, having realized just how much of a nuisance you have been, that could be considered a step in the right direction. Itchy, are you trying to console me? It certainly doesn't sound that way to me. However, I cannot forgive you for simply turning away from the incidents you create. You're totally pinning this on me. Now then, let us talk about the night of the murder. Sister Bikini, after seeing the murder take place, asked Phoenix Wright to report it. Thus, he headed for the public phone by the bridge. There, he happened across a certain nefarious individual. You, Larry Butts. That's right, me in the flesh. Listen carefully, witness. Doesn't matter if you change your name. So long as you remain pretty pathetic, you will continue to cause the incidents. That reality will not change. But what do you want me to do then? Larry, what you need to do is change your inner self. But for now, what you saw that night, testifying truthfully about this one issue is all I need from you. Edgy, I think I've finally woken up. Well, I guess I could still be sleeping. But anyway, I'll do it. I'll testify. Now, I'm not sure this will go especially well. I'll ask again then, witness. What did you see on the night of the murder? What did he see? Okay. Let's save. I went to the shack at around 9, so it would have been about 10:30 p.m. I was lying under my bedding when a white flash almost blinded me. I looked out the window and Dusky Bridge was on fire. There was still some thunder, but I went right away to check it out. That's when I ran into Nick. You certainly saw quite a lot, didn't you? So, what happened to the bridge after it caught on fire? It was like me after a 3-day stint chasing a girl. It's totally burnt out. Like, almost totally gone. I mean, trying to cross the burning remains was what caused Nick to fall. What did you say? Oh, don't worry. It's nothing life-threatening. He just caught a cold. I never know what that meant, if he should be called lucky or unlucky. Now, Mr. Edgeworth, please commence your cross-examination. Alright, let's press him on everything. What did you do up there in the cold for an hour and a half? Well, if you really must know, I was busy being excited. Masturbating, I guess. Excited? Dare I even ask? I set the meeting time as 10 p.m., right? But I couldn't wait. I thought she might come early, too. Well, it appears she didn't come at all in the end. Because they never arranged to meet in the first place, did they? Shut up! Don't go picking my fond memories apart. Anyway, I was getting a little worried. I thought maybe Iris had lost her way. So every 20 minutes or so, I went out to the bridge. But I didn't see anything particularly suspicious. I didn't have anything else to do, so I went back to the shack to wait for her. This light was, of course, lightning. Like, kapow! Like a slap from Naomi, honestly. A big bada boom. Look at that. Or a little like that. That's more like a punch from Miranda. Witness, did you actually see the lightning hit the bridge? Well, I was a bit startled by the flash of light, so... Seeing that, well, what did you do? What do you think? I was burning up as well, with a fire in my heart. And that's why you went to take a look at the bridge? Well, to be honest, it was freezing cold. So at first I thought, forget it, I'm not leaving my covers. But it pretty much stopped snowing, so I don't know, I changed my mind. I'm not sure I care for the forget-it attitude you had at first, Witness. You said right away. But exactly how long after the strike was that? The lightning fell, the bridge caught on fire. Maybe around 5 minutes? I mean, I suddenly thought, gotta go check this out. How far is this small shack you were in from the bridge? Hold on. Well, it pretty much stopped snowing. I guess about a 5-minute walk? And how did Dusky Bridge look when you got there? Like I had recovered a piece of my childhood. I mean, not even the bonfire kids make during school camping trips can compare. Well, should I press him for a little more info? Not right now. Why didn't you call anyone? Why did you go to the bridge? I'm gonna ask him why he didn't call anyone. Larry, let me ask you one thing. What is it, Edgy? What's with the serious face? Why didn't you call anyone? Huh? What do you mean? Normally, when faced with a towering inferno, one would try and tell someone. There's a public phone right by Dusky Bridge, correct? Well, of course I thought of doing that. So then, let's hear why you didn't. Huh? Yeah, okay, a reason. My reason. Is it that I didn't try to tell anyone? I just didn't have time to, okay? Right at the bridge, and Nick showed up less than a minute later. You claim to have arrived at the bridge at the same time as Wright? Yeah. I thought I'd better tell someone about this, but then Nick came up yelling about murder. Totally made me forget about the bridge. The fire was pretty much out by then anyway. What's this feeling? I suddenly have a terrible case of unease. It was after contacting the police that Phoenix Wright fell from the bridge, correct? Yeah. That's pretty much it, more or less. He told me about the burning bridge yesterday, but there's still something that doesn't quite fit. It looks like, despite his change of heart, Larry still isn't telling us the whole truth. Okay. So let's save. I'm gonna go press on that statement that had multiple little branches. Okay, it was this one. Okay, so this we saw. 5-minute walk. Okay. Why did you go to the bridge? So you suddenly thought to check out the bridge. Does this mean that you initially had no intention of doing so? Well, yeah, I guess it does. It was really cold. I don't really want to go out there. If that's the case, why did you change your mind? I would like to hear your reasoning. In which case, please give us testimony to that effect, witness. My reasoning? Okay. Reasoning, is it? I thought I'd never get another chance to see something so big burning. I mean, alright, sure. Like, when there's house fires and those kind of things, I feel like people do kind of congregate around them. Same kind of thing with, like, highway accidents, where, like, there's cars off the road and whatnot, and people driving by just slow down to just look as they go by. Morbid curiosity. Morbius curiosity. So you decide to go and see what was happening. That's right. We're talking about a massive suspension bridge burning to high heaven. That's not something you see every day. A real speckle. Like, really special. Can we really trust a witness who is unable to pronounce spectacle? Life seems to be love. Life seems to love hitting this poor witness below the belt. Well, my motto is to hit life back as hard as I can. That. I will give you a few hits too, if you like, with my whip. You told me about the burning bridge yesterday, but there's still something that doesn't quite fit. Looks like... Okay. Alright, the thing that I'm thinking about is like those 5 minutes. Also this. Like him looking out the window, can he actually see it? Oh yeah, he definitely can, right? But isn't there a hill? Because I remember, like, when we went down there, there was a bit of a hill. Though you could definitely see some of the bridge. So I don't think he's lying about seeing the bridge itself. Lightning struck Dusky Bird at 10:45. Is that right? Does that give... When did Wright call? There was still some thunder. Occasional lightning strikes. Lightning 10 to 11. So that checks out. Snow 7 to 10:50. It was still snowing. Because he said 10:45. When did the check run? So around 10:30. Okay. Hello, Ian. I'm dressed as Edgeworth today. I have no ascot, but I tried my best with the stuff I have. Chance to see big burning things. Yeah, I think maybe the right away thing, cause like it's the 10:50 means it was still snowing. Around 30 minutes passed between the fire starting and going out. So it was still on fire the entire time while he was over there too. This feels like the right thing to present. I'm just not sure where to present it. Maybe on this. We'll see. I'll do my best smug if I can actually get this right. Nope. But maybe not. Oh, whoops. I lost my last piece. I didn't save after we got the little extra bit from him. Okay, let's press him for the bridge. Okay. There we go. Let's save after getting that. And I pressed him on this already, right? Yes, because this is him saying spectacle. One that doesn't quite fit. It would have been around 10:30. Hi, King. Why do I... Is that a Donkey Kong reference? The Ikum Bokum? Or... No, it's not a Zelda reference. So wait, he thought... If he asked her to meet him at 10, why... No, that's not it. You don't know what game it's from. I've definitely... Laughing at Skull's name. Oh, maybe it's... What's the one with the bad juju? It's a game on like the original PlayStation, maybe? It's like so-and-so and the bad juju. I think it might be that game. Dusky Bridge was on fire at 10:30. Oh, it's Is it Banjo-Kazooie? I never actually played Banjo-Kazooie. My friend had it, but I never borrowed it. So lightning struck Dusky Bridge at 10:45. So this is wrong, I think. Actually, I think I rented Banjo-Kazooie from Blockbuster once, and I didn't get very far. Really? It's not this. It was under his bedding. White flash. Dusky Bridge was on fire. There was still thunder. That's true. Is it? You said right away. The lightning fell. The bridge caught on fire. So that's 10:45. 5 minutes later, he's there. At 10:50. The Gobi Desert thing. Oh. Everything's connected. It's all connected. We're pressing for more info. We know this, we know this. I clicked on the other one already, and I clicked on this before, but just in case that save didn't actually get it, I'm gonna click through this one more time. Because there's a public phone. Okay. He didn't have time to, because Nick showed up. I don't remember when Nick arrived there. Nick came up yelling about murder. I feel like that's the timing issue. But I don't know if I have evidence. Do I have evidence that Nick arrived at like 11 or some time that contradicts with 10:50? It takes 20 minutes. It takes 20 minutes to go from Hazakura to the bridge, right? Or 15 minutes by snowmobile or something like that. Break his kneecaps? I mean, I don't know. He's taken whips from Francisca pretty well. Not this. Autopsy report. 10 to 11. Taking that night, the tracks photo. I don't think this doesn't show us anything. I don't know. It's not right again, is it? Like the fact that he showed up later, is that No. Because I don't actually know if he showed up late or not, because it doesn't tell us the time when they're like running around like that. Nick showed up less than a minute later. That couldn't have been right though, right? When was it discovered? Attorney badge is always the answer. But let's see. Not this time. I was only testing you right now. He arrived at the bridge. It's not this. Maybe I'm going the wrong way with thinking it's a timing issue, because we do know that the snow is also in, like, there's a contradiction with the snow. Right? Is that this one? The second one? Lightning. Like that. It started from the light. Burning up from the fire in my heart. It was freezing cold, so at first I thought forget it. But okay, I guess pretty much stopped snowing maybe means it's not a contradiction. It's still like kind of wrong though, because it's still supposed to be snowing at that point. So like him saying before that there's no snow. There was still some thunder, but I went to check it out. "30 minutes passed between the fire starting and going out." So 11:15 was when it went out. I don't know. I'll be waiting for you at 10. Wait, why would he leave? I feel like he wouldn't leave, right? Because he's waiting for 10. He was waiting at 10. I mean, maybe Larry is just that dumb that he sticks around for an extra hour. King the weather report. Snow from 7 to 10:50 p.m. Lightning from 10 to approximately 11 p.m. And lightning struck Dusky Bridge at 10:45. Around 30 minutes passed between when the fire started and went out. Maybe it's this. No? Maybe not. Okay, because I'm thinking maybe it's something to do with the fact that like he wouldn't abandon his true love. Yep. Right. So like he's saying it was around 10:30, which seems What do you do out there in the cold for an hour and a half? He was busy being excited. He sets the meeting at 10. He thought she might come early. So he's worried. Every 20 minutes or so he went out to the bridge. Which means he would have gone out at 10, 10:20, 10:40, and 11. So he would have been out there and then gone back. Going back to the track to wait for her. What did the note say? It just said meet me at 10. The whole secret to be exposed is that he thinks that she's in love with him because he's Larry Butts. I mean, by the numbers, he would have been out there like right before lightning struck and would have just got him back if he's doing it this way. mean, how did he not see the snowmobile? Up till 10? I guess. So he just laid in bed for an hour? Like, we see him there being surprised. You actually see the light, you know, hit the bridge. It was freezing cold, so at first I thought, forget it, I'm not leaving my covers. It stopped snowing, so I changed my mind. So, like, technically there's a 5-minute window where, like, it doesn't make sense because it didn't actually stop snowing. But I could believe that it, like, let off a little bit. Because it doesn't seem to actually contradict the weather. Like, if I present it, it doesn't actually do anything. So that must mean that it's, like, it's pretty much gone. Yeah. But I went right away to check it out. Like, I don't believe him that he went right away. And also this. Like, Nick showing up less than a minute later also feels a little bit weird. But I don't know what to contradict it with. Because we don't have anything that, like, proves that Nick was there earlier. And I already tried presenting Phoenix on this and it doesn't do anything. So it's not like we can just say, oh, you know, this. The new piece of evidence... Where's the new piece of evidence? It was this one, right, that gave me the new piece of testimony. This is the press further. Or why did you not go to the bridge? The only thing that we have that kind of goes for the time it takes to get to the bridge is the testimony itself, and then the map, I think, was in reference to that before one time. Here we go. Okay. His reasoning. I thought I'd never get a chance to see something so big burning. Which is fine. Doesn't really feel like something... I mean, he just says it's a big spectacle. He doesn't really say anything. Told me about the burning bridge yesterday, but there's still something that doesn't quite fit. Larry isn't telling the whole truth, but what piece of the truth? He was just being excited. He was waiting in the shack. I was lying under my bedding. Maybe this is false. Maybe he wasn't in his bedding. I was startled by the flash of light. So he probably didn't actually see it hit, which is fine. I was burning up as well from the fire in my heart. I have no idea. Dusky Bridge was on fire. But not... I mean, yeah. So, time passed, right? So it's not a timing issue. But what is the obvious, like... There was stuff wrong with this, you know? There's still thunder. The lightning fell, the bridge caught on fire. Maybe around 5 minutes. I don't... Not right now. Where's my map? Nope, it's not the map. I thought I'd never get another chance to see something so big burning. I mean, there's nothing... I don't have anything that can conflict with that. Besides his own heart. You have an idea, King? When he thinks someone's waiting? Is that who he thinks is waiting? I mean... Like the first one, you mean? Like to get him to talk about who he's waiting for. I mean, we already told the court that. It doesn't seem to be it. I feel like maybe it's not, it's got to be something that's like right here, right? Like maybe not necessarily in the press data. I went to the shack at around 9. So he went out before lights out. Which was at 10. He doesn't really have an alibi for the murder, does he? Who took this picture anyway? When a white flash almost blinded me. A white flash. There's 15 minutes between the lightning and what time he thinks it is. But that's not it. Weather report at Nick. Alright, let's try it. Oh, we have to change it. We only get one of the endings at a time. So I had to go and press him to get him to talk about Nick again. Went right away. Alright, why don't you call anyone? And then he gets mad about it. Well, not mad, but you know. Public phone by Dusky Bridge. And then he says he didn't have time to because Nick showed up a minute later. Okay. Apparently that's it. Apparently it's a weather report at Nick. So. Okay. Edgeworth is now going to tell us exactly why we're wrong here. The town of Edgeworth. I mean, they're gonna let us know. Your very existence being a contradiction. I'm not sure if you can grasp this or not. What the hey, Hedgie? You sound like I'm some sort of alien. But your testimony is conclusively contradictory. The problem here is time. I've never been the best timekeeper, you know? 3 minutes after Billy leaves on foot, you follow him on your bicycle. How long does it take for you to catch up with them? Terrible at those. This is much more simple, but you saw the lightning strike Dusky Bridge and immediately went to see what had happened. Is this correct? Yeah, well, it wasted about 5 minutes first, but more or less. I have the weather data from the night of the murder here. According to this, the lightning fell at 10:45. You say it takes less than 5 minutes from the shack to Dusky Bridge, meaning you probably got there at around 11 p.m. That all sounds about right, I guess. And then Nick showed up and did his falling act. That is impossible. What do you mean? 11 p.m. is when the murder occurred in Hazakura Temple. Thus, Wright was still there in the courtyard. There's no way that Larry could have encountered him at the Dusky Bridge at that time. Excuse me. I have an objection. You do? Edgy, how many times do I have to say this? I'm not Larry. I'm Laurie's doing them. Blah! It has not been proven that the murder occurred at 11 p.m. The sister only said around 11. In which case, it could have been earlier than that. Watch your footing there, Miss Francisca von Karma. The slope ahead is slippery. For there's still no way that Wright could have been at the Dusky Bridge at 11 p.m. And why not? It is clearly written here in the weather data report. It took around 30 minutes for the bridge to burn out. Therefore, the bridge must have been burning until at least 11:15. Which means... what exactly? Wright did not see the bridge while it was being consumed by the flames that night. In fact, he did not arrive on the scene until after the flames had died down. Larry, you arrived at the bridge at 11 p.m., but Wright did not make it there until at least 11:15. I suggest you stop hiding things and just tell us the whole truth. Now then, what happened during those missing 15 minutes? Thanks, King. Totally wasn't grasping straws. No, that is the one. That is the one thing I think is the downside of this game here and there, is that like occasionally when it's not like easy to like put the two pieces together, you just end up guessing entirely, and it kills some of the fun of it. Like, obviously it's more fun when you have to think a little bit and like connect some dots, but ugh. I feel like I just got brutally woken up by toilet splashback. Oh, Poseidon's kiss. I guess I was still sleeping after all. Pinch me. Order, order. Rah! So there was a missing 15 minutes prior to meeting Phoenix Wright. I hardly see that as much of a problem. Yeah, not much of a problem at all. Really? The bridge is burning before your eyes, and there's a phone right next to it. Why, then, did you not report the incident? Yes, witness. Why didn't you? Were you there simply to watch the bridge burn? And therein lies the problem. For even after the bridge had burnt out, he was still there, staring into space. This witness didn't even attempt to fulfill his civic duty. I need to make a quick meme. Like, I'm sorry, it has to be done, because we're talking about Larry just sitting there doing you know, doing his thing, hanging out, just watching it, being a little bit of a weirdo. But hold on, I got this, okay? Like, this will take like 30 more seconds at most, and then I'll have a beautiful, beautiful picture for you to just thoroughly enjoy. Ah, excellent. Here we go. Here it comes. Fresh meme. Okay, I'm happy now. Who knows? Maybe I'll make that be the thumbnail for for the VOD. That's what it sounds like. But this is Larry we're talking about. And even he is incapable of being so stupid. Which means there has to be a reason for his inaction. Edgy. I think it's about time I got serious with you, dude. Just as I thought. You've been playing with us all this time. Listen, I'm gonna tell you everything. Are you sure you want to hear it all? Yes. I may really say it this time. Everything. Then say it. You want to see Larry's art? I have a picture that he took. He didn't draw it, but he took the picture. Does that count? I don't think his art's gonna be very good. Very well. I have a terribly bad feeling about this. However, let's have the witness finally give us the whole truth. Now, for this 15-minute gap, what were you doing, witness? I mean, yeah. Oh, here we go. Oh, we might get it. If he's about to tell us that he was sketching the burning bridge, then maybe we'll get it as evidence. How am I doing them? I'm an artist. What do you think I was doing? Sketching in front of the bridge. Oh, I was whipped up into a frenzy of art. The shock and awe that I was feeling, I transferred it all directly onto the page. Before I realized it, the flames had gone out and then he came running up. I suppose artists can be a strange folk. That's right. I'm willing to sacrifice everything in order to draw the perfect sketch, including the truth from the sound of it. Mr. Edgeworth, has this removed the last of your doubts? Not at all, Your Honor. One very large doubt still remains. And what would that be? This is a surprisingly believable story, especially considering the source. So why did he think he needed to hide it from us until now? I intend to drag the reason out of him. You'll regret this, Edgy. Alright. Do 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 do. Okay, sorry, just making sure my nose isn't bleeding. Tell us, Larry. My name is Larice, get it right! Mistakes like that are what keep you from being popular with the ladies like I am. Just who exactly are you? I'm Lewis Sturnim, apprentice extraordinaire. Well, that's what he calls himself, in any case. Then you are an artist? Of course, I'm an artist, the real thing. Yet again, that's what he calls himself. Names mean nothing. There's only one issue I care to discuss. What were you doing? That's a very big issue indeed. Sketching. Sketching. The burning bridge. The burning bridge and everything that came with it. What came with it? You want to hear this from my lips, do you, Edgy? You'll regret this. That sketch of mine is enough. Just take that ridiculous sketch of yours out already, witness. What are you talking about? I don't know what you mean. That does indeed appear to be the fastest solution. I'll leave it to you, Mr. Edgeworth. What should I do? I've got a terrible feeling that the instant the sketch is revealed, the entire world may be changed by what's depicted there. Larry, I wonder if you could show us your sketch, please. Oh, do you think it's going to show like Maya or something? Well, even if I could have imagined it turned out like this. Imagine what? That Larice Dunham's debut would take place here today, like this. Ow! Show it now. Okay, but steel yourselves. This is the ward of Luri's doing him. Oh, look. He's drawn someone.
Well, so this is Dusky Bridge, correct? Quite a large bridge, isn't it? Your response, Miss Von Comma.
Yes. Well, it's a better drawing than I expected. Isn't it? Isn't it? Oh, I struggled to reproduce those flames. I really did.
Yes, I'm, sure you did.
This is going to get ugly. No one has the courage to bring it up, it seems. This mysterious flying object. Hold on. Let him cook. This is me in front of Larry as he burns the bridge to like paint a picture. Larry, what? The burning bridge is fine, but what is that unfortunate looking figure? Ha! You spotted that. I thought you might. However much I might want to ignore it, I can't. It's Iris, of course. Iris! Oh, I wish she'd take better care of herself. We had to plan for our future, you know? What would have happened to her if she had injured herself flying like that? Larry, please answer this next question honestly. Okay. Are you really claiming to have seen this? Are you claiming to have seen the silhouette of the defendant flying over a bridge that was engulfed in flames? Yeah, that's what I saw. That's why I drew it. I'm an artist. A real artist.
The girl. She's really high up in this picture.
She's so high above me. So high. Remember that song from the 90s? That I just butchered for you? It's not Savage Garden. It's like a one-hit wonder band, isn't it? That did She's So High.
What was that for?
This is all a bad dream. I was hitting you on the cheek to test that theory.
Please whip your own cheek from now on if you wish to test your wild theories. Anyway, no court of law will ever acknowledge that people can fly.
Actually, there is some precedence for this. She was flying pretty high, my sweet Iris. She's about 30 feet off the bridge at least. That was really something to see.
This has to be some kind of mistake. Mr. Edgeworth, please bring the witness back down to Earth.
What? Me?
This witness is your friend, is he not?
Accessory to foolishness, Miles Edgeworth.
Let us get back to the cross-examination. By force, if necessary. Mr. Edgeworth, I expect you to expose the obvious contradiction here.
Yes, Your Honor. Listen, I've got another reason to remember this moron. What do you think about my debut piece?
Get that thing away from me.
Horrible sketch of what he saw the night of the crime.
Now hurry up and cross-examine him.
I don't think that's a terrible sketch. Her white hood fluttering. Found the contradiction. Indeed, I do have the hood. That is correct. Also, did the Twitch chat just not... Hold on, sorry. Test. My Twitch chat is broken, it looks like. Like, it's not embedding the video, I mean. That's odd. These types of things are very annoying when they happen, I will say. Where is that thing? Widget. Chat box. You see a 502 gateway in the... Oh, you are correct. Thank you. 1 second. Let me fix that. I don't know why it broke. It's not like it changes. Refresh cache of current page. No, it's still there. 1 moment. That's bothersome. I mean, not like I always have to embed the chat, you know, but I feel like it's kind of useful sometimes. So I don't look like a crazy person, you know. Where the fuck is it? What? I'm on Streamlabs. There it is, chat box. Copy the URL. Paste it. No, it's the same. Refresh cache of local page. Yeah, there's something up with it. Oh, now it works randomly. But there's still a 50... Wait, what is this bad gateway? Is it Rapey McForehead? Where's that bad gateway coming from? Is that the sound alerts? Nope. It's not that. Not this. Gamepad. Display capture. Sound. It's this sound alert. Refresh cache. Okay, now it's gone. And I saw the bingus, so there we go. Yay, live technical issue shootings. Very, very good. Very good. Gib meme. Does Larry Butts as Disaster Girl count? It doesn't count. Okay. What about this man? Does he count? Because I literally have no idea who this man is. But on Twitter today, he was just there. And the text that was with him for his trendingness was Rapey McForehead. So that was fascinating. Anyway, let me get you a fresh meme. How about a good one? How about Skynet?
Ayayaya. Ayayaya. Who's excited for the human annihilation? I am. I've been waiting for it for a long time. Ayayaya.
Ayaya.
I'm bored.
There's your fresh meme. Alright, let's see. Sketchy in front of the bridge, looking at the art. I saw her eyes, her white hood fluttering. It's not learning to hate, it's learning to love to murder. Perspective. Just where did you see the sight from? Hey, no need to shout. Well, I was lying in bed in that rundown shack. The crack of lightning bolt made me realize that the bridge was burning. I just watched it for a while from there, thinking how nicely it was burning. And after about 5 minutes, I saw it. The defendant flying. That's right. That's when I decided to go to the bridge. Wait, he saw her flying first?
I see. That all makes sense. Aside from the sketch itself.
Yes. This sketch doesn't make any sense. I just need to convince the artist that his work is ludicrous. Ludicrous speed! Rapey McForehead. Representative Matt Gates criticized the physical appearance of abortion rights advocates and got flack for it. Isn't it kind of hypocritical to like go after his physical appearance when that's the thing that he did and that people were like going after him for. I see the like poetic justice of flipping the coin on him in that way, right? But at the same time, aren't people just doing exactly what you know, he did that they're mad about? I just think it's funny. Like, he looks so pissed in this. And also, I think there are people on Twitter who are just slowly extending the size of his forehead up, which was also amusing to me. So, it's pretty good. Alright, let's contradict this guy. Here we go. Larry, what did you really see that night? Not that I particularly care. In your position, that's just being irresponsible. I drew exactly what I saw. I'll give you a whole $1, that's the truth. If that is truly the case, there's one thing we can say for certain. What might that be? That the person who flew over the bridge could not have been the defendant, Iris. What? What do you mean? I don't understand. Ugh. A foolhardy folly of a foolish statement by an equally foolishly foolhardy fool. How, exactly, can you make this claim? Tell us, Larry. According to this picture, the individual whom you say you saw was wearing a hood, correct? Of course she was. That rundown shack is quite away from the bridge. The hood is what told me that this floating angel was my Iris. The hood is my darling Iris, and Iris is my darling hood. Blah. It seems there are bigger fools in this world than the one at the defense's bench. Larry, there's something you need to be made aware of. On the night of the murder, Iris wasn't wearing her hood. She had given it to Wright as a gift. Are you going to change your story now? Perhaps suggest it was Wright who took flight? Maybe you've had a brother. What are you talking about? I think you understand what I mean just fine. What? Why did Nick have Iris's hood? What? Edgy, what's going on with Iris and Nick? What? You... Nick! You dog! Larry would focus in on that.
I do believe that this unbelievably mysterious sketch is destined to disappear, discredited and discarded, straight into the garbage.
Was it now, witness? It feels like I've been waiting 25 years for this very day to come. Edgy, today's the day I get to completely stupefy you. What?
What is the meaning of your outburst, witness?
Should he say outburst? I hate to have to do this, but I have some definitive evidence. Definitive evidence? Iris did indeed come flying over the burning bridge. And I, Laurie's doing them, shall prove it.
I didn't expect to ask this again, but we shall be needing your testimony once again. Tell us anything you know about concerning the defendant as depicted in the sketch, and show us your evidence that this nightmare was actually a reality.
Okay, I hope you're ready, Edgy, because I'm gonna feed you a whopping serving of pain. You've been serving us a whopping serving of pain this whole time. Trust me. Proof that Iris flew. Alright. Any wild theories about how this is even remotely possible? Or that, like, he thinks it's possible? I'm trying to think, like, the main loose end that we don't have accounted for right now is Pearl. Well, he's about to tell us in the testimony, that's why I'm not going yet. What if it was Pearl he saw going over? I don't know how she would fly, but maybe she got possessed by a spirit or something. When I reached Dusky Bridge, she was already gone. I was so worried. so I frantically searched all over for her. That led to me finding a beautiful crystal sphere, half buried in the snow. Oh no. That is part of this. So that would imply that Dunham was maybe killed elsewhere. Also, there's blood on this. I'm sure that Iris is simply wearing a spare hood. After all, no one else could have lost the crystal sphere that night. I can think of one person.
A crystal sphere.
This one. Pretty, isn't it? But finders keepers. That sphere. Where did you find it? Let me see. Around here somewhere? Looks about right. And it was half buried in the snow. Yeah, it pretty much stopped snowing by then. But there was still some falling as I walked to the bridge.
The court accepts this crystal sphere.
That's mine, okay? I want it back afterward.
There's something on it. Oh my, it's blood!
What? Blood. You ready, Edgy? By tomorrow morning you'll be calling me Master Larry. Yeah, at the sound of that, no one's gonna push me around anymore. Didn't you want to be called Loris Dunham only a few minutes ago? Well, we'll get to press him. Yeah, it is confusing. So, I mean, one of the... is this in... Hold on. Let me see if it's in the coroner's report here. She has bruises. Nope. So, the cause is loss of blood from being stabbed in the back. And the body fell 10 feet. And, like, when they were adding this stuff in, she's bruised. I wonder if she was beaten with her own staff? Because the sphere was inside the staff at first. Which is what this picture shows, as you can see. Like, she normally has it with her. Maybe she was stabbed with the pointy end right here. And that's how blood got onto the sphere. So, you went to the burning bridge? That's right, to meet Iris. She actually flew to get me. Least I could do was meet her halfway.
But the defendant was not at the bridge when you got there, you say?
I guess she went back to Hazakura Temple. She's a girl after all. She must have wanted to look her best. It must be lovely to live in the fantasy land of Larry's mind. Actually, it's so depressing that I can't even work up the energy to point.
So, what did you do next?
So you searched all over for her. She was flying pretty high, you know? I thought maybe she slipped on her landing and got hurt. Yeah, it was more than possible. Also, when I headed out to the shack the first time, I was snacking on a banana. I was pretty sure I threw the peel away somewhere around there. So, you know. Can one guy really be this stupid? So did you find any signs of her so-called landing? I don't really remember. I kept on falling over myself and I kind of lost it for a while there.
You fell over yourself?
Yeah, the snow is deep and there was even a banana peel out there. Yep, there's stupid, and then there's Larry Butts.
The short of it is that you didn't find any signs of her landing, correct? Then what happened next?
That led to me finding a beautiful crystal sphere, half buried in the snow. Half buried? It was sitting in the snow, a little gathered on top of it. So it'd been there for a little while. It's very hard to spot. I mean, it was dark out too.
I'm impressed. You did well to find it.
No matter what you may think when you look at me, I'm a pro. A genius security guard. I used the pen light I borrowed from my company to help in my search. It sparkled really brightly, as if it was saying, "Here I am," to me. It does indeed look very much like the crystal sphere on Iris's hood. But need I remind you that she was not wearing a hood that night? I'm just sure that Iris was simply wearing a spare hood. There's no such thing. They only have one. Each nun is assigned their own hood, and they are assigned only one. I don't know anything about that, okay? And Iris is special, alright, dude? Even if she did steal a spare hood, I'll forgive her. This is getting us nowhere. Our destination for the day, it seems.
However, this crystal sphere was found near the bridge. That is a fact. If it didn't come from a hood, where could it have come from?
That is the question I aim to answer. Bugles. I haven't had bugles in a while. You gotta put them on your fingers and go nom 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 right off the top. It's the only way to eat them. Oh no, the pictures. Look at this. After all, no one else could have lost the crystal sphere that night. Pretty sure it's the picture of his mentor. Let me confirm this one last time, Larry. The reasons you thought that this was Iris are the hood and this crystal sphere, correct? That's right. My gut's never wrong. I met that old bikini the next morning, and her crystal sphere was still there, safe and sound.
Indeed. She was wearing it in this very room earlier today.
This case isn't going to end without a fight. Exposing the obvious contradictions in this testimony will be easy, but I fear that all that awaits us are further mysteries. Alright, here we go. Ready? Saving. Even though I have like 101% confidence in myself right now. Eat shit, Larry. Larry. That night, there was someone. Someone who lost the crystal sphere. There was? Who? Who was this stupid idiot? Miss Elise Duinham, the mentor to a stupid idiot. The victim? I have a photo of her here. And on the end of her staff, you can see a familiar looking crystal sphere. Hey, that's my photograph. Give it back. Ah. A crystal sphere like that is quite easy to find. I have one just like it on my brooch. No, you don't, Francisca. Yours is not a ball. It's as flat as you. They look nothing alike. In any case, please take a look at this. This is the victim's staff, found at the scene of the crime. Oh yeah, no, I don't disagree with you about that, King. It's definitely tied to all this. I'm wondering if the bruises are from... or if the pointy end of the stick is a stab wound. Though it still begs the question of how the heck, like, she got back to the courtyard and then got stabbed by a sword. Like, there's a lot of confusion here. What? 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 What?
Just what does this mean?
If anyone jumped or flew across the bridge that night, it certainly was not Iris. After all, she was not wearing the hood. More importantly, the crystal sphere found at the landing site was not hers either.
That means the one who flew and dropped the sphere was the victim, Miss Elise Duinham.
A fool alongside another fool, on a fool's errand to reach a foolish conclusion. First of all, this sketch, which I prefer to call a scribble, is ridiculous. People cannot fly, thus it is rejected. You can't do that! I saw it with my own eyes! And this crystal sphere, this is nothing more than a red herring. You honestly believe that? Give it some thought, and I'm sure you'll realize it as well, Miles Edgeworth. Elise Duinham was in her room on the night of the murder. There was no reason for her to go to Dusky Bridge. Therefore, this sphere cannot be related to this case. That is all. Miss Francisca von Karma, the only people who will accept that explanation are scatterbrains and clowns. Why are you pointing at me? The victim's crystal sphere was found near the bridge on the night of her murder. Yet you expect us to believe this has nothing to do with the case? That crystal sphere, it was probably thrown away at the bridge after the murder.
After the murder?
There's blood on the crystal sphere, isn't there? This naturally suggests that it was thrown away after the murder took place. Timing doesn't allow that. The killer placed it there to throw the investigation off the scent, which is the exact same reason that he drew that ridiculous sketch. Wow, Francisco just accused Butts of murder. You mean I'm the killer? No way! All joking aside, just when did this crystal sphere appear near the foot of the bridge? Unless this can be proven in some way, I refuse to believe this is related to the case. She makes a valid point, and I'm gonna have to present some evidence. There's no evidence that at least Dunham left Hazakura Temple that night. However, if somehow this crystal sphere can be proven to have been dropped before the victim was killed. Where's the death picture? Okay, I was looking to see if the staff was in this picture or not. Then this case is going to transform into something else entirely.
Your response, Mr. Edgeworth. I want your final opinion on the disposition of this crystal sphere. If it's not related to the case, then this witness who you called will have been nothing more than a monumental waste of time.
Prepare yourself for some very appropriate punishment, Miles Edgeworth. Can I prove it? Can I prove it? Can I prove that the crystal sphere was dropped before the murder took place? Let us think and ponder. Can we prove it? I don't know if we can, honestly. Let's look at our evidence. The victim's staff. I don't know where we found it. The murder weapon? Nope. Iris's hood. Nope. Iris's little note. Nope. This doesn't do it. Now, Larry mentioned there was snow on it, which means that it was still snowing at the time when it was dropped. Didn't we say that the murder took place at 11? If that's the case, then this proves it, right? Snow till 10:50? I think I can. I think the weather report is our big piece of evidence. To simply prove it, that's the only option. That's what he'd do. That's the way Phoenix Wright would do this. Your Honor, allow me to prove something to you. I will prove that this crystal sphere is a vital link to solving this case.
You will do what?
That look in your eye. You remind me of Phoenix Wright when he's cornered. That should come as no surprise. Because right now I am Phoenix Wright, and I am indeed cornered.
I order you to present your evidence, Mr. Edgeworth. Evidence that proves that this crystal sphere was indeed dropped before the murder. Your response, Miss Von Karma?
Birds of a feather flock together. Are you familiar with this phrase? Miles Edgeworth. I think one such bird is calling for its fellow now. Go, go, Edgy, do it! Prove it! Win! Win! Win!
This cheering. It's as though I'm listening to the ominous cause of ravens. Well, one more chance, Your Honor. Can't turn back after coming all this way.
The time of the murder and when the crystal sphere was dropped. I need to find proof that the latter happened first. Alright. Sure. Oh, fine. It says found half covered in snow on this one. But shouldn't it also work for the weather report? This crystal sphere, it was half buried in the snow, correct? That's right. If I hadn't stopped snowing, then it wouldn't have been game over. The snow would have totally covered it. That's all I needed to hear from you, Larry. Your testimony makes one thing quite clear. What? When the crystal sphere was dropped, it was snowing. Even if it was ever so slightly. See, that's what I was saying the weather report proves. Snowing? On the other hand, let us look at the scene of the murder. As proven earlier today, there is no snow on the victim's body. Ah! Therefore, the crystal sphere must have been dropped before the murder. Got the good music. Order! 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 On the night of the murder, the victim did indeed go to Dusky Bridge. And there, something occurred that caused the staff's crystal sphere to come loose.
What could that have been?
The sphere. There is some blood on it, isn't there? Allow me to raise a certain possibility at this junction. The real crime scene was near the foot of Dusky Bridge. The murder didn't take place in the Hazakura Temple courtyard? Only a fool would suggest such a foolish piece of absolute foolishness. Just who was the fool? And which part is so foolish, Miss Von Karma? Have you been paying any attention this whole time, Miles Edgeworth? The sister saw everything. She saw the victim being killed by the defendant in the Hazakura Temple courtyard. That's not exactly true, now is it? To put it more precisely, what she saw was the murder weapon being removed from the victim's body. That's the same thing! No, it isn't. You said it yourself. Very little blood is actually lost at the moment of a blade's insertion. If you want to talk about when the most blood would be lost from a body, that would be when the blade is removed. If that statement is the truth, then Dusky Bridge could very easily be the scene of the murder. The murder weapon was not removed, thus there was no bleeding. You are forgetting one vital thing, Miles Edgeworth. At least Duna's body was found in Hazakura Temple. On foot, it takes 15 minutes to travel from Dusky Bridge to Hazakura Temple. You mean to suggest someone carried the body all that way? Made it this far. The only place to take this is the end. Are we gonna say that that they used the snowmobile? But that would indict Iris a bit, wouldn't it? Because she's the only one who was using the snowmobile that night. I just need to prove that my version of the events is also perfectly plausible.
Oh, if the defense is ready, the court would like to have an explanation. Please show us the method by which the victim's body was carried to Hazakura Temple.
It flew? It's gotta be this. On that snowy night, there is one way that a body could have been moved. The snowmobile. Ah. As we know, the snowmobile was used that night. It was explained as having been used to dispose of the murder weapon. But it could have also been used to carry a body.
Order! Order! Order!
This is completely unacceptable, Miles Edgeworth. You dug yourself into your own grave. What do you mean? The only one who could have used the snowmobile was the defendant. She's the one who moved the body? Doesn't that put the final nail in your coffin? What if she was transporting the body? What if there wasn't really a murder? What if, like, lightning struck and, like, a piece of wood from the bridge, like, and then right into Duinum. and maybe Iris was with her for some reason or something. I don't know, something like that. But like, I don't know. I got nothing. I'm trying to think of ways that this could happen because like there is no murderer. You're too late, Franziska von Kama. And in fact, the defense has proven something else entirely. We have shown that this case requires further investigation. What? Where was the victim Elise Dunham really killed? If her body was moved, whatever for? And finally, just what does this image mean? Do you even need to think about that? Such a creature could never see the truth, let alone describe it. This witness certainly sits on one of the lowest possible branches of humanity. However, he would never utter a lie that could hurt a girl with whom he is enamored. He drew this, so it is something that actually happened. The defense stands firm on this point.
Digi, thank you.
That settles it then. I cannot give a verdict under these circumstances.
Right. I seem to have fulfilled my part in this. It's just as I thought. Franziska von Kama, you make a wonderful partner. So, anyway, this is probably a good time to talk about the fanfiction.net Phoenix Wright Ace Daddy to Be story. They go out drinking together. And Edgeworth is secretly dating Franziska. It's pretty great. He calls her Franny, and she gets mad at him if he doesn't in public, because she's like, someone will find that out. Let's see. Franny, how are you? He looked concerned as he stood by her bedside. Don't call me that in public, fool, she snapped. She reached for her whip, which someone had kindly left on her bedside table, but felt a twinge of pain. Franziska remembered with a pang of annoyance that she had broken her whipping arm. Suppose you have to whip the other arm for the time being, said Edgeworth with a small smile. Also, thank you for the follow. You came at a weird time, didn't you? Excuse me? There was one reason, and one alone, for me being here. To expose the darkness lying in this case, then pass it on to Wright. Really? That's what this is all about? You could have just told me that from the very beginning. Oh, then I wouldn't have had Francie whipping me. Oh, yeah. Miles Edgeworth. I don't care about what you were here to do. This was my chance to finally grind you under my heel. A shame that your chance seemed to have slipped you by. Yeah, what a shame, Franz. Oh, this is all your fault. Such a terrible witness. I demand satisfaction. Good lord, the amount of whipping. She just killed someone on the witness stand. And no one's doing a thing. I cannot believe that the witness's testimony relates to an actual event. I can't believe it. You returned with the fruit cup? Oh, you missed the biggest fruit cup of them all just happened. Where's my thing? Not that. Where'd it go? Where'd my orb ponderer go? There it is. The judge. The judge figuring out this case right here.
I cannot believe that the witness's testimony relates to an actual event. However, there has to be some sort of answer for the question it raises. Have his words here today been the truth or lies? Next time we gather in this courtroom, those are the matters that shall be addressed. I am counting on thorough investigations by both the defense and the prosecution.
And with this, the rest is up to you, Wright?
Court is now adjourned.
We did it. We made it through some more of the case. Alright, the real question though is, are we still going to be Edgeworth for the next part, or is he actually going to dismiss it? Like, is Wright going to take the stand again? Clinic intensive care unit. Oh! This explains why he was... Okay. We saw this at the very beginning of the case. I didn't really realize that he was at a hospital bed. I just thought he was like at a chair at a desk. Okay. I'm still up at this hour, reading through the trial record of a certain case. It's the first case my mentor, Mia Fey, had ever handled in a court of law. The horrifying truth that I refuse to accept is holding me hostage here within its pages. Dahlia Hawthorne. What I've read, I don't want to believe. What is written here? This isn't the Dahlia I know. After falling into Eagle River, I was somehow miraculously saved. But I ended up catching a cold that seemed to knock me around the world and back. I feel dizzy, my eyes are ringing, my throat burns, and my head is on fire. But I will recover. I have to recover by this afternoon. I have to meet with the most ill-tempered witness imaginable. But I know that he'll be able to help me with him. Somehow. Do-do-do, do-do-do. 2:43 p.m. Right. Are you sure you're well enough to be doing this? You still look a little green in the face.
Or maybe Viridian, in artist speak.
Actually, my fever has gone down quite a bit.
How's your temperature now?
Only 102.2 degrees. Nothing to worry about. He is dying. Only 102? He's on fire. And Larry is just watching. Anyway, I read today's trial record. You weren't bad, Edgeworth. Pretty impressive despite the circumstances. We're not in the clear yet. The main point of contention tomorrow is going to be the murder weapon. Yeah. In the end, the Shichi did not deliver the deadly blow. Which means there must be another sword hiding out there that we didn't know about. Another sword, huh?
Don't you worry about a thing, pal. I'll dig up the murder weapon myself, or I'll eat my coat.
Thanks again, Edgeworth. I'll handle things from here. That is probably for the best. Actually, I was thinking about paying the old precinct a little visit. There's something I want to look into. And that is our client's background, naturally.
You mean Iris, sir?
I have the feeling that we've met before. All I want is confirmation, one way or the other. And since I probably won't be getting that from you... I'm sorry, Edgeworth. I bid you adieu, right? Take care.
Guess I should get moving, too.
Why? Do you need to be somewhere?
Yeah, gotta get to work on this bridge, pal. I'm rigging something out so we can get across to the other side.
Ugh, that's right. Maya's still stuck over at the Inner Temple.
But don't you worry, pal. As soon as it's all set, you'll be the first to know.
Thank you, Gumshoe.
No problem, pal. Just try not to give me that cough of yours, okay? Alright, I'm off.
How's he gonna fix this bridge? Hang in there, Maya. We'll get you out. I promise. Why haven't they helicoptered over there yet? That's my question. Like, was there a reason that they gave? Is it too high up for helicopters to come into this mountain or something? Or in the meantime, I've got to continue collecting evidence. All right, let's. I don't know. Let's look around at everything, I guess. Hazakura Demo doesn't have a single private line. Bikini's the only one who uses this. I really wish I brought my cell phone with me. I don't think that's changed from before. Thing looks like it's ready to collapse, at least more than it did before. According to Bikini, Eagle Mountain is very prone to earthquakes. Which reminds me, If my memory serves me correctly, Edgeworth isn't exactly a fan of earthquakes. True. Okay. There's really... I don't feel like there's really a lot to look at here. Let's move down to Heavenly Hall. See, like, Larry sketched this, right? He did these. I don't think Larry is bad at sketching. Like, look at this. This is clearly Iris, and this is clearly him. Looks like no one's here. Larry! Laurice! Huh, should be hiding here. Guess I'll try again later. What is that? What's on the pot? Look at this graffiti scrolled around in the front of the shack. At least he managed to get a pretty good likeness. When I really think about it, I guess art kind of suits him. I mean, his very existence is an art. Of sorts. Oh, that whole thing counts as one. Snow's really piled up in the straw roof. Otherworldly. Something out of a fairy tale. Well, the roof part anyway. The sign says Heavenly Hall. Guess it's pretty fitting. If you spent a night in this little freezing shack, you'd probably find yourself at the pearly gates by morning. The famous Eagle River at a child's rough rapids the other night. They say it has a really strong current, and they weren't kidding. Both powerful and fast-flowing. I was dead lucky. I mean, lucky not to be dead. These steps lead up to the foot of Dusky Bridge. Coming down is a cinch, but going back up doesn't look like a walk in the park. I don't understand why rivers always want to flow downstream, not up. I wasn't gonna read it out loud, just skip through it. The flags are really inappropriate. It really sends a shiver down your spine. Like Sister Bikini in a bikini. Gotta think of the kittens. I'm telling you, she wears a bikini underneath that outfit. Like, underneath her robes. That dusky bridge up there, it's amazing how clear you can see from far away. Larry supposedly saw everything through the shack's window. Not much light gets down here, so it must be pitch black at night. This area is probably illuminated that night because of the burning bridge above. Okay. Well, the thing is that we kind of expect to see, like, a murder weapon, right? So, where am I supposed to find that here? Oh, there's Larry. Come on, please! It's for art's sake, I swear! Oh, there's only one guy I know who could be this persistent and high-strung. I'm talking about the heroine here. The heroine in my book! I'll make you famous! Duh! Enough. A fool's fool, fool's fools, who foolishly accepts the foolishness of a fool's fool. Wouldn't you agree? Phoenix Wright. Huh? Me? Wait a sec. I know you. You're, ow! Your reflexes and mine need to shape up. My brain's fried like a sunny side up and you want to grill me over a name? Franzi, you can't do that! Even as we speak, Nick's on the brink of death. Or so I'm told. Whip a dead horse. Isn't that one of your American sayings? No, it's not. I'm not on the brink of anything. Come on, Nick. Tell her, wouldn't you? Tell her she needs to model for my new picture book, Franzi's Whippity Whip Trip. What, do you think this is going to be a children's story, or no? He says picture book. I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt. He's gonna make a, like, Indiana Jones adventure book starring her. And definitely not gonna make adult entertainment. Before you ask me to model, learn to give at least semi-coherent testimony. And before that, you have to learn how to live a semi-coherent life, Larry. I don't care what anyone says. I'm telling the truth. I saw what I saw. She flew, I'm telling you. Whoosh. It's like that dude with the red underwear. Don't think I'm gonna forgive you guys when you come crawling back to apologize. Off he goes. It's amazing how little has changed with you in the past year, Phoenix Wright. I realize I haven't saved in a while. Let's talk to Franziska. Have you been in Germany all this time? That's right. Setting my perfect win record, naturally. Oh joy. Sounds like she hasn't changed a bit. Has it really been a year since we first met? Probably, right? Let's see. I gave up a promising career in Germany and came to this country for one sole reason. Revenge. Franziska was born and raised in Germany and became a prosecutor at the age of 13. Her father was the legendary prosecutor, Manfred von Karma. Holy crap, those eyes. Wait, that's not the right picture. He's got the same eyes as our crazy moose steak crazed court judge. He had a perfect win record for 40 long years, but now he's gone from this world. Don't tell me you still hold a grudge against me because of what happened to your father. Phoenix Wright, you will fall before me. This, I promise. But it'll be for my sake, not my father's. Are we clear? Yes, Crystal. In truth, I was shocked. I came back to America with the intention of defeating you. Instead, it was my little brother who was leading the defense. Edgeworth. Come to think of it, Edgeworth was pulled into being a prosecutor by Manfred von Karma as well. Miles Edgeworth told me something very interesting, you know. He said this case has special significance to you. Because it does. And that's precisely why I'm here. Your personal involvement will make crushing you into teensy-weensy pieces all the better. Probably the fever, but she's so openly hostile that it's almost kind of cute. He gets it. He understands the appeal. Now, no smirking. No whipping the sick. Foolish fool. Doing such a foolish favor for such a foolishly foolish fool. Edgeworth. Make no mistake, Phoenix Wright. I came here for one thing and one thing only. To pulverize you. It's not like I thought you were here to bring me some cold killer action, no? I went over the whole case file on the flight over. You read the whole thing? Yes. Every last word of every last sentence of every last paragraph. All the ridiculous things you did made it very interesting read, you know? Attempting to cross a burning bridge. Do you even consider the dangers? No. The only thought in my mind was I had to get across. A fool who doesn't think is more foolish than a fool who foolishly thinks. Gumshoe said he'd let me know once the bridge was repaired. Maya, she's gotta be okay. Just know it. Plus, I need to ask her what really happened at the Inner Temple that night. Yeah, and we need to find out where the heck Pearl is, because she's been missing for like 2 days or more. 3 days now? I wonder if I can present anything to her. I'm about this. Yo! Refuse to help you, Phoenix Wright. Oh, I should have known better than to try. I wonder if there's anything at all that she would talk about, though. Probably not. Look, I'm a defense attorney. Oh. Okay, what about Pearl? No? Not even for our little buddy? Okay, well, I'll just examine things behind you then. Love to know what that thing was used for on the night of the crime. Still thinking small, I see, Phoenix Wright. Or perhaps not at all. That's why you would never defeat me. Sorry to burst your bubble, but I don't recall ever losing to you. Time for us to settle this once and for all with one final showdown. Looks like she mentally blocked out my victories over her from her memory. Quaint little bell. Nope, that wasn't anything. An impressive gate. Compared to the grandeur of the main gate at the Von Karma estate, it's but a pet door. Looks really idyllic with all that snow on it, don't you think? Oh, that's snow. Don't make me laugh. There's a bit of light dusting where I come from. Don't make things up just because you think I'll never get to see it for myself. Oh, I can't look at the door. Okay. You can see the main hall from here. I wonder how the head nun is holding up. Oh, wow. Is that an inkling of human kindness I sense? Ow! Do you enjoy causing other people pain with that sharp tongue of yours? That's nothing compared to the pain you cause with that leathery whip of yours. I'm looking real quick at something. Oh, I moved it. I took a screenshot last time of Edgeworth doing this. I wish I had it like faster on the draw earlier. Anyway, let's go check on the nun. That was one long sigh. Sister Bikini. My. I didn't know you were here. How are you doing? You don't have to pretend to be in a good mood for my sake. I suppose I've made a terrible mess of things, haven't I? I let Mystic Elise die, and then there's Iris as well. Mystic Elise? Now that I think about it. There's an alcohol stuck at the inner temple, and that poor little girl has gone missing too. That little girl? You don't mean Pearls, do you? Yes, I'm afraid I do. She hasn't been seen since the morning after the incident. Pearls? She's missing? Why didn't anyone tell me about this? Oh, I must be getting old. I think I've seriously lost faith in myself. Are you talking about your performance at the trial today? You believe me, don't you? I'm not a liar. I would never lie. I know what I saw. I saw Iris pull that sword from Mystic Elise's body that night. I'm certain of it. At least I was until this morning. I don't see any psych locks, so she must be telling the truth. So why are you so unsure of yourself all of a sudden? You know that artist who testified after me? I saw Iris flying, her white hood fluttering. Like I might start flying myself. When I saw that man testify so fervently about something so impossible, I started to wonder if I had acted just like him when I was on the witness stand. I wouldn't take that guy too seriously. He's an artist, but all he draws is trouble, and nothing else. If both Bikini and Larry are telling the truth, that can only mean one thing. They both didn't see what they think they saw. Because that's not confusing. On the night of the incident, you met Iris at the inner temple. Is that correct? That's right. I'm sure it was Iris. But Iris claims she was in her room in Hazakura Temple. I knew I shouldn't have come back here that night. But because you did, Maya stuck all by herself at the inner temple. Ugh. I'm so sorry. The drafts in that place are nothing to shake a stick at. No, bet. The train all looks like it's about to fall down any second. Eagle Mountain has always been prone to earthquakes, just so you know. Earthquakes? Yes. I wouldn't be surprised if the next big one levels the training hall. Oh, we've got to get Maya out of there. Fast! But still, there's really no need to worry. That area on the other side of Dusky Bridge is isolated like an island. It's like an island? How so? Well, the only thing on that side of the bridge is the inner temple. No one lives up there, and it's surrounded on all sides by the river or the forest. I see. So a criminal will be trapped should they choose to flee in that direction. And as long as the bridge is out of commission, he or she will have to stay there. That means Maya could be stuck out there with a murderer, and with no way of escape either. Oh dear, yes I suppose it does. Please, Gumshoe, get that bridge up faster. I'm curious about a few things, if you don't mind answering some questions. Oh? Do you need to know my measurements for your investigation or something? No. I want to know a little more about the victim, Miss Elise Doolin. I'm afraid I don't know her waist size. Or her bust size, for that matter. No, I'm wondering why she came to stay in a place like this to begin with. I mean, She told us herself that she wasn't here for spiritual training. My. You make it sound like this place is some sort of dump, Mr. Wright. Mystic Elise was here to soak up the natural beauty of Eagle Mountain, if you must know. There, you did it again. Sister Bikini, I noticed you always refer to Miss Dunham as Mystic Elise. Oh, yes. Now, why is that? After all, she's not here as an alkalite. We address all our visitors as mystic. It makes their experience feel authentic. And anyway, she's older than me. You must respect your elders, you know. How do you know that? How can you say for sure that she's older than you? He's cooking shit. No, wait, there's a psych lock with this? What? It seems Miss Elise Dunham was no ordinary visitor after all. There's Pearls. She was with Miss Dunham on the evening of the murder, and now she's vanished. Oh, gotta be connected somehow. Why did Pearls have to get mixed up in this mess? Please, Mr. Wright, I know you're worried, but try to keep it together. Oh, man. My head's throbbing so bad it's killing me. Pearls. You were with Miss Dunham on the night of the murder, remember? Yes, but I have a temple to run, you know. I was busy preparing for the training. I didn't see the little darling even once after we'd finished eating dinner. The murder didn't take place right in front of our innocent eyes, did it? Also, the Mystic Ami statue has an orb. I wonder if that's still there. Can we see that in the murder picture? Yes. The orb is still there. According to the detective, she hasn't turned up at her home either. Come on, keep calm. There's one place left where Pearls could be. She just has to be there. Come on, Gumshoe. Tell me you'll be done with the repairs soon. Alright, let's save for our health. And then, I doubt that we have the evidence we need to figure this out. I imagine we have to go back to Heavenly Hall and talk to Larry about Miss Dunham, because he was her apprentice, so, like, he probably knows a little bit more about her, but we'll see how far we can get. Sister Bikini, the truth is becoming increasingly clear to me. I'm convinced that Miss Elise Dunham had a special significance to this temple. As to why she had a special significance, I believe it has to do with her true identity. What on earth are you talking about? She was... Mystic Elise was an author. Just an author of picture books. To be honest, I had my suspicions almost immediately after I met her. Suspicions? Yes. But I didn't have any evidence to support my theory. But now I do. This piece of evidence proves Miss Dunham's true identity. I bet you she's Maya's mom. But I don't have the evidence that actually proves it, I don't think. So let's go outside and talk to some cool people. Courtyard? Or actually wait, let's go to the courtyard first. This is where Sister Bikini witnessed the incident. Hard to imagine she was lying on the stand, so maybe there are some clues that have yet to be found. Miss Dunham's staff. I definitely remember there being a crystal sphere attached to the staff. Guess Larry eventually found the sphere near the foot of the dusky bridge, but what was it doing all the way out there? The Shichishito is there in Mystic Ami's right hand, but it was proven in court today that it wasn't the murder weapon. Beyond the design, it must have been used for some pretty gruesome things in the past. That building up there's the main hall. That was where we were staying. It's just kind of funny because it's built on a very steep slope. If you enter from the main gate, these rooms above me are on the ground floor. Apparently Miss Dunham was staying in the corner room. Guess that's where she was pushed from that night. The sled. That's gotta be her bikini's own personal entertainment. Is it possible that Miss Doonan was pushed from the top of the wall? I mean, maybe, but probably not. And then lanterns? Okay. Can I go to her room? Like from the main hall? Hey! What was that jarring, inconsiderably loud yell?
So this is where you've been. Keep it nice and warm, I see.
Detective, have you finished repairing
The bridge? Yeah, I did. Told you I'd let you know.
Well. And I'll come along with you and...
Sorry, ma'am. No unauthorized entry. Access is restricted to people involved in the case.
What was that? I'm involved, aren't I? You couldn't get much more involved than me.
No. Yeah, but that's not what I mean. Ah!
It's been a while. Scruffy.
It's... Miss...
God, you killed him. Sister, please leave the investigation to me. My. Well, you certainly seem to have everything under control. I am on your side. I won't do anything you don't want me to. And she worked to pin the guilt on Iris. What are you daydreaming about, Phoenix Wright? Ow! That hurts, you know. Silence! I, Francisca von Karma, will personally guide you through your investigation. So you will follow me. She's not seriously gonna follow me around, is she? Is that her way of being nice and watching out for us? Okay, we've seen this before. Nothing more to talk about here. So let's go out to the main courtyard and head back to the bridge. Before I go across, I'm gonna go down to the Heavenly Hall to see if... Oh, nope, never mind. Alright. Larry isn't here. Okay. Time to go see if Maya and Pearls are on the other side of the bridge. Things have certainly become a lot more hectic than before. They must have commenced with the investigation. Oh! Mr. Nick! That voice! It's Pearls! She's alive! Pearls! Mr. Nick! Mr. Nick! Oh, give her a head pat. So you were here ever since that night. I was so lonely, I thought I was gonna die. Wait, what do you mean lonely? Where's Maya? When I woke up in the morning and saw that dusky bridge was gone, I realized I was all alone. She was all alone? Oh, it must have been very trying for you, little girl. Huh, you're... I am Francisca von Karma, the prodigy. There's no need to worry now that I'm here. You're the prosecutor who was so mean to Miss Maya last year. Well, I don't like you. You're nothing but a little girl without your whip. Holy shit, Pearls. The first person to ever just stand up to Francisca besides Edgeworth and her father. Miss Maya didn't do anything wrong, but you were so mean. I'll never forgive you. I... Looks like Pearl's words are getting under her skin. Yow, why are you whipping me? I didn't even say anything. You didn't have to. The smile on your lips gave you away. Anyway, Pearls? Weren't you with Maya? I'm sorry. It's all my fault. Huh? What are you talking about? Pearls? Mystic Maya! Hey, wait, Pearls! She just ran off. Ow! That was cruel, Phoenix Wright. To make a little girl cry like that is inexcusable. What was that all about? Pearls acting like that. Giving me the creeps. Guess I better take another look around here since I finally got the chance. Especially since something about this place seems different from 2 days ago. What's this? Phoenix Wright. What? Will you stop calling me by my full name like that? Was this once a prosperous port? A port? Yes, that metal hook is a mooring post for boats, you know. Oh, that. That's an anchor for one of the wires that's used to hold up the bridge. I think the wire that was tied to this one probably snapped when the bridge burnt down. I mean, there's no way there was ever a port all the way up here. Don't get smart with me, Phoenix Wright. I didn't say anything. Well, the Buddha statues lined up along this path. Phoenix Wright, do you think this is how many siblings the head nun has? Why don't you ask her the next time you see her? You know what? I think I will. She'll probably slap you for prying into her private affairs. I thought it was just weird that only one of them had a hood. Or one of them was missing a hood, rather, sorry. There's a weird smell coming from that incinerator. The door is also open. Almost like it's begging me to look inside. I don't know, let's see what stunning clue is concealed in here, shall we? Empty. How naive of you, Phoenix Wright. But it's a bit strange, don't you think? Franziska von Karma. I seem to remember... there was snow on this incinerator the first time I saw it. I mean, they probably used it to keep warm, right? In other words, someone's been using it to burn something recently. Listen, Phoenix Wright. It's impertinent to call people by their full name. I was only copying you. The gate's open. A little gate that leads into the garden. It says no enter in the sign, though. Come now, Phoenix Wright. What are you doing? Let's go in. It's half open anyway. What harm could come of it? But it says no entry. Don't you Americans enjoy doing whatever you like and then simply say whatever? It's got nothing to do with anything. And who told you that? This must be the door that leads to the inner temple, where Maya Fey was training on the night of the murder. Yes, there's a solitary room there called the training hall. You could do with some training yourself, Phoenix Wright. Ow! You're completely out of shape. Ugh. How much more of this woman I can take. I mean, these scribbles don't mean anything for us, right? Feigning comprehension isn't a very good habit to have, Phoenix Wright. She looks really happy to finally caught me on something. Alright. Where's Maya? Was that always locked like that? And why is there goo on the Misty Maya poster? What's wrong? Why are you so quiet? Maya? She was supposed to be in here training. Yet it appears she's nowhere to be seen. Hey, Tech Robo. What's that? That strange lock. It wasn't there 2 days ago. This whole room is really giving off some strange vibes. Happy Wednesday, Tech Robo. Thank you for the bits. Okay, this is the thing that catches my eye. Second to the giant lock. What's going on here? What do you think this yellowish poster is, Phoenix Wright? This is the start of a creepypasta? Do you think there are creepypastas for this game? I know there's fanfiction. I have some open on a browser. But creepypasta? It's a scroll, not a poster. It's a picture of a woman who's actually a woman. I don't see any woman here. What kind of fanfiction? The fanfiction that I found at the end of last stream. It's called Phoenix Wright Ace Daddy to Be. I've read the first chapter out of 20. There are 20 chapters to this thing. And they went out drinking and got drunk. And Maya and Phoenix may have gone to someone's room and enjoyed themselves. But better yet is the fact that in this particular fanfiction, Franziska and and Edgeworth are dating, and it's really, really fun to read about them because it's quite silly. And Francisca, she tripped while she was extremely drunk, and she broke her arm. And do you know which arm she broke? Her whipping arm. Alright, let's see. There's a different atmosphere in this room since the last time I was here. No, it's not a different atmosphere, it's a different smell. That smelly smell that smells smelly. Gravy! Why is there gravy here? What's the matter? And the scroll. Been completely covered in gravy. Ah, yes, there's a very appetizing smell in the air. But gravy is a type of sauce. So when you run out of paint, you Americans use gravy as a substitute, I see. No one does that. For starters, it stinks. Must be the gravy that we had with the roast on the night of the incident. But why would anyone do this? Why this scroll? Misty Faye's image is obscured by gravy. What a sentence. This door. When I was here 2 days ago, that weird lock wasn't on it. Those chains. It's almost as if they're guarding something inside that cavern. Never seen a lock quite like this before. I have. Seen locks and chains just like this before. They look just like the one that guards a person's secrets during a psyche lock. I wonder if this lock is guarding something too. Dark secrets in a dark cavern. Do we think this is Maya? What took you so long? Not even you'd manage to get here faster than this. Oh, totally wrong voice. Totally wrong voice. Thought even you'd manage to get here faster than this, Mr. Trite. Prosecutor Godot? I didn't know you were here. Prosecutor? How come you didn't show up at the trial today? Huh. Could ask you the exact same question. Huh? But I had a cold, so... I have something slightly more important than a common cold to deal with. The importance of which is something you have no hope of ever understanding. Enough. I believe I have the measure of you. You are the very worst kind of prosecutor. What could be more important than a trial? Who's the wild mare, Trite? This is Miss Von Karma. She was the acting prosecutor in your absence today. Huh. Well, I guess I owe you one then. But you can go now, Princess. It's time for the big boys to take the reins. Just who do you think you are? This case is my... Hey, Philly. Know your role and shut your mouth. I can't stand women like you. Here she just calls her young. I guess they're... I assume Philly is a, like, a young horse, right? Like, a mare is a young horse, I know that. Is Philly also a name for that? But yeah, I mean... localization is a very strange industry with a lot of errors, I feel. But I guess they really don't want you to like Godot. I'm only gonna say this once, Lady von Whippingberg. Go home. Phoenix Wright! What are you hitting me for? Heh. You deserve more cracks to the whip than that, Trite. What? You still don't get it, do you? You don't realize that you set something in motion that you'll never be able to undo. There's something different about Godot today. Getting such a strong sense of something from behind that mask of his. The smell of gravy? Is it anger or is it sorrow? God, I love his theme though. You had something important, some important business, and that's why you weren't in court, huh? So what was it? My I've told you once before, but perhaps you don't remember. I've returned from the depths of hell to do battle with you. You see, Trite, I've experienced something most have not. Death. You died? Of course. Being extradited from hell is a tedious affair. The meticulous regeneration and adjustment of all your internal organs is, well, let's just say modern medicine allows us all to live to a ripe old age. Even someone like me. So, you mean that mask you wear is... This ugly device? I promise it's not a fashion statement, my unenlightened friend. Without this, I can't see your frequently dumbfounded face. I didn't know. My eyesight's pretty messed up. Even with these huge goggles on my head, I still can't see everything. Still, I keep this worn-out piece of junk of a body going with regular servicing. Is he just drinking motor oil the entire time and he's actually an android? Like, what? I'm sorry, but you say you experienced death? How is that possible? What happened? Why don't you ask him? Huh? Me? Yeah, Trite. You. You should know all about it. You know when my life ended, and who ended it for me. Well, Phoenix Wright, do you? I don't know what he's talking about. Although, to be honest, I do feel a little tug at the corner of my memory. I think I do know about how Godot was killed. It'll all become clear in due time. Isn't that right, Trite? Earlier you said I've done something I can never undo. What did you mean by that exactly? The inner temple here on this side of Dusky Bridge is an isolated island. That's what Sister Bikini said too. And I wonder, Trite, do you know what the police are doing here today? What do you mean? They're searching. Searching for any trace of an owlet who went missing. Missing? As leader of the search party, I can tell you this with absolute certainty. Maya Fey is not on this side of Dusky Bridge. Huh? But that's impossible. She came here that night and... I won't say it again. The chances of being here are nil. Excluding, of course, one very unique place. One? Where is that? The Sacred Cavern, the entrance of which we are standing at right now. This is the only place that the search party has yet to explore. So they haven't searched the cavern yet, huh? Be aware, though, that the temperature inside frequently falls below freezing. Even if she were in there, the chances of being found alive are slim at best. No! Which means, Trite, that you sent Maya Fey to her death. You fool! If that's the situation, why aren't you in there with the search party right now? You must have blinders on, my equestrian angel. Don't you see the big lock and chains? It's a trick lock. I'm making preparations to open it as we speak. Well, Trite, once again, a woman dies because of you. Once again? What are you talking about? Don't tell me you've forgotten. It was only 2 years ago, after all, when the last unfortunate woman died because of you. Because of me? And do you know who that was? It was Maya Fey's sister. That's right, Mia Fey. Mia? You killed her. No, that's not how it was. Do we ask him about Mia first, or the lock? Probably Mia first, I suppose. She's at the top after all. It was 2 years ago. Maya Fey was pursuing someone. A man. But she bit off more than she could chew. She made a very dangerous enemy. Yeah, that's one case I'll never forget. But I got that guy. Personally. Sure.
Miss Faye's murderer was caught. But that won't bring her back.
Well, no, but
You were with her at the time. You and no one else. It was your responsibility. You should have protected her. You say Mia Fey was your teacher. Well, then I'd say you've learned nothing, trite. You've robbed her of her life, and now you've let her sister suffer the same fate.
I haven't sentenced Mai to death? No. What is this peculiar looking lock? Why don't we just break it open? Be a simple matter of...
Afraid we can't do that. This area has always been prone to earthquakes. The repeated tremors have weakened the foundations of the training hall. Any excessive force used to break the lock open would... well, let's just say the inner temple and the sacred cavern would be a thing of the past.
That is such bullshit. Some wire cutters are not going to tremble and break apart an entire cavern. Very well. Then dare I suggest the obvious solution of opening it with the key?
Sure. Just show me where the keyhole is on this trick lock.
There's no keyhole?
That's right. Interesting puzzle, huh? The person who set this lock is the only one who could open it.
Then who is it?
Simple. The accused.
What? Iris?
When an alkalid undergoes training inside the sacred cavern, the attending sister is responsible for locking the entrance. Obviously, the night of the murder was no exception. Maya Fey was to training there.
Sister Bikini did mention it a number of times now that I think about it. She said that Iris was left in charge of supervising the early stages of the training.
So Iris, the accused, is the only one who could open this lock. I've arranged for her to be brought here now.
Iris is the only person who could open this lock? Hope she gets here soon. Hang on in there, Maya. We'll get you out.
So, I should be getting back to work.
Wait, Godot. How sure about Maya are you?
There's no doubt in my mind. She's in the sacred cavern somewhere. It's the only place she could be. You better start praying. You better pray that friend of yours brings the accused back here soon.
Edgeworth?
Listen up, trite. There's only one thing I want to say to you before I go. I'll never accept you. Never.
You should choose your friends more carefully, Phoenix Wright. That's what everyone says. Looks like you don't have much of a choice. Guess I'll just have to do what I can for now. I guess we'll look at this, even though there's really not much. Antique dresser? Don't you dare open it, Phoenix Wright. Now I know how Maya feels when I tell her not to touch things. What a pity. Full of nothing but old clothes for the alkalids. Thought we weren't opening it. I'm from the prosecutor's office. I can do anything.
Yeah, you can do anything. Except stand up to a 9-year-old girl.
Those wafer-thin mattresses. I'm sorry, Phoenix Wright. Wafer-thin? Yeah, you know, thin. Like a wafer. In other words, uncomfortable. That's how we describe things like these mattresses. I guess you must say wafer-thick or something back in Germany? Not about those mattresses. Certainly not. Okay. I don't think we can do anything here. The question is, when do we get the clues to break the locks on Bikini? I don't know. Should I? Shouldn't I? Sounds like someone's talking to himself, but where's that coming from? Is it Gumshoe? Yeah, it's Gumshoe.
Yeah, I guess I better wash that off. That's what I'll do. No, but I can't do that. I'm a detective. Ah, my brain. Driving me nuts. Ah!
Is something troubling you, Scruffy?
Please don't whip me like that all of a sudden, sir.
It was merely a simple greeting. A friendly tap on the shoulder with my whip. So what's up, Gumshoe? Something in your mind?
How do you know, pal?
Perhaps you were trying to decide if you want to wash that off or not?
How did you know, sir? Oh, yeah, I nearly forgot. Can't go through that little gate there, okay?
You mean the one that says no entry on it?
I, kinda already snuck in there.
You trying to be clever or something? So what's behind there, Scruffy?
Huh? Kind of a garden-like garden.
A garden?
Yeah. Anyway, it's under investigation right now, so keep out! I'm not telling you. I'm asking you, pal. You got me?
Isn't it normally the other way around?
Yeah, I'll see you later.
So, shall we adjourn to this garden, Phoenix Wright? Of course. What else would we do? Really want to know what Gumshoe was thinking of washing off. Huh. Whoa. I think we found what he was thinking about washing off. And I'm glad he didn't. Mr. Mess with Evidence. That says Maya on it. There's a strange feeling in the air. I wonder what it is. Strange feeling. Forget about that. What's that strange writing on the stone lantern?
Ah! What are you doing here, sir? I said you can't come in here.
Don't you know, Scruffy? A Von Karma will always show up wherever there's a clue. There are plenty of clues to be found in here.
But...
What's that? The charm or something poking up from the snow. Looks pretty old. The leather cord tied to it too.
Apparently it belonged to the victim.
To Miss Elise Dunham?
Yeah, it's a broken leather cord around the lady's neck. The ends of the cord found on both the victim and on this charm match exactly.
Sounds to me like this little trinket is gonna be my ticket to getting some very big answers. Okay. Karain Master Talisman? She's fucking Missy. She has to be. Little lantern, little statue. It is certainly a quaint little garden. Oh! What is this huge bowl here for?
Oh, I know this one. It's a water bowl, isn't it?
Everything else is completely frozen over. But the ice in this bowl has been broken. That's true. I wonder if this has any impact on the case.
Well, I doused my face earlier with the water in this. Getting kind of sleepy. Ah.
Next time you're sleepy, you need only come to me. Got it? Alright. Obvious clue is obvious. The heck is that?
Oh, you spotted it, huh, pal?
You kidding me? Could be more obvious. It says Maya.
Yeah. Before you ask, it's written in blood.
You will answer all our questions now, Scruffy, without exception.
Yes, sir.
So, how's the Inner Temple investigation going?
We have the best forensic team in the world working the place.
Forensic team? And what was the outcome of this scientific study?
Nothing. Scientifically speaking, the place is as clean as a whistle.
That's simply not good enough, Scruffy. Do you think I'll let you get away with that?
Oh. Well, there are a couple of things that bothered me when I first got here, sir.
And that stone lantern and the surrounding area that's not covered in snow. Oh, sorry, that's not Gumshoe saying that.
Look kind of fishy to me, you know, scientifically speaking. So I got the lab boys to look them over. The results were, kind of hard to say, actually.
I guess I better look into that myself. About Maya.
Oh, did Mr. Godot tell you yet?
Yes, we heard.
Got a search party out looking for her, but there's nowhere else she could have disappeared to on this side of Dusky Bridge. All we can do is wait for Mr. Edgeworth to get here, pal.
Edgeworth?
He's escorting Iris, the defendant, over here.
We'll have to wait, since she's the only one who can open the door to the Sacred Cavern.
Oh, hey, Mr. Edgeworth wants to talk to you about something too, pal.
Huh? I wonder what it is.
Just don't be expecting any good news when you talk to him. When I spoke to him, Mr. Edgeworth sounded so down I felt like I was drowning.
Sounds pleasant. Maya. So these letters are written in blood?
Yeah. What's worse is the victim's blood.
Huh? This is Miss Dunham's blood?
We haven't done a detailed analysis yet, but it's looking that way, pal.
Most interesting. Phoenix Wright, I presume you know, don't you? Why Maya's name is written upside down? Because she was upside down? The ghost of Mystic Ami was dragging her by her fingers. Or toenails. I don't know. You know what? That was really bothering me too. But I just came up with the answer. The result of my own special gumshoe investigation. Really? Do tell. Well, on the night of the murder, that stone lantern was upside down. Anyway, there's really only one logical explanation of this mystery. Miss Elise Dunham wrote these letters herself, in her own blood. You must be joking. That's impossible. From the writing in the victim's blood and the other clues left behind, it's pretty likely that this garden was the scene of Miss Elise Dunham's murder. At least, it's our current theory on how the events took place, pal. What? So, Miss Dunham was killed here? However you want to look at it, that's what people are saying now. Then, what Sister Bikini saw in the courtyard at the main temple? The cable. Did Elise Dunham get launched from one side of the cliff to the other with a cable? And that's what Larry saw flying? Well, what was it? If that wasn't the scene of the crime, what did she see? What do you think, Miss Von Karma? Surely a special gumshoe investigation will reveal the answer, no? But wait a sec, the bloody writing and all the other clues here. Someone could have easily set all that up after the murder, right? Sorry, that's not an option, pal. Why not? How quickly you forget, Phoenix Wright. Ever since the incident occurred, this place has been completely inaccessible. Because Dusky Bridge was completely burned out. I was overseeing repairs to the bridge this whole time. No one came over here before me and my men. Which means no one could have planted all this stuff here, pal. Unless Pearls did it. Can't think of a counter-argument to that. I knew it. I should have washed the blood off the lantern as soon as I got here. If this really was the scene of the crime, I need to figure out exactly what it was that the bikini actually saw. I don't think I have... Probably don't have anything else to talk about, right? Worn by the victim. Gives a matching cord. One of the things she always wore. Got this safe diving term I've been wearing for over a year now. Never get into... Okay. Okay. Did he see this too? Do you know anything about this scroll, detective? Well, I know it smells great. Yeah, this is just kind of weather for some steaming mashed potatoes and gravy. I really love that stuff. It's so much that... Oh! You have nothing else to say about this than your inane ramblings about gravy. Not really. Let's leave it at that, okay? 1 second. Okay. Sorry. Alright. Well, let's move to the training hall then. Nope. Let's move to the Inner Temple Gate. And then to the suspension bridge. To Heavenly Hall? What? Wrong one, sorry. I don't know why, but I was thinking Heavenly Hall was the main gate. Oh! Ooh! New things. I was just heading over to Bikini to bother her. It seems you have a visitor. Mr. Wright! Heck yeah. Hi, Iris. Iris! I'm really glad to see you. Godot managed to mobilize the police by claiming a state of emergency. Not him again. Never mind him. Gotta hurry and unlock the sacred cavern. I'm sorry, Mr. Wright. It's my fault someone so important to you is locked in there. Mr. Edgeworth, can we finish our conversation later? Alright. Let's hurry to the inner temple then. I'll see you later, Wright. Wait, Edgeworth! I'm coming with you guys!
Sorry, Wright. Can't allow you to come with us.
What?
I hate to be the one to break it to you, but Maya Fey is in a rather delicate position.
What do you mean by delicate position?
This isn't simply a rescue operation, right? It's also an investigation. That being the case, we can't allow members of the public to interfere.
Come on, Edgeworth.
If anything happens, you'll be the first to know. Please understand, Wright.
But it's Maya! Mr. Wright! All that matters is that Mystic Maya is rescued, correct?
Listen to the voice of reason for a change, Phoenix Wright. From now on, consider anything beyond Dusky Bridge to be off limits. We'll be going now. Excuse us. This is no time to be standing around, Phoenix Wright. There are other things that demand your attention. She's right. Thanks for reminding me. Sister Bikini looks like she's shrunk since last time I saw her. Don't be so rude, Phoenix Wright. What's wrong, Sister Bikini?
My. Hello, you two. How are you doing?
Well, the sounds of that sigh, I guess she's still pretty down.
I was just here, you know? She's accompanied by that handsome crimson-clad prince.
You talking about Edgeworth?
Oh, it was just a courtesy call. I wasn't allowed to talk with her at all. Oh dear, it's all my fault that this has happened. Poor Iris. She was worried about my back, would you believe? Oh, what have I done to her?
Only what you had to do, sister.
You bravely and truthfully testified about what you saw. There's no shame in that.
And we'll see to it that your testimony wasn't made in vain.
Well, I don't hear anyone else saying that. Mr. Blue Suits doesn't seem to share your opinion, I see.
Huh?
That!
Oh, yes. You did great, Sister Bikini.
Absolutely spectacular. You two are the only ones who said that to me.
Can't shake the feeling that I just became a shill to a shrew.
Shrill to a shrew. Is that a normal saying? I don't think I've ever heard that before. Also, my freaking hair.
Do you have a problem, Phoenix Wright? Sure, she was brave to testify so truthfully like that. But I know she's still hiding something. Guess it's time to break the psych locks of hers. First I'm going to see if she has anything else to talk about. Consider we have new things. Okay, nope. I'm going to present the gravy to her real quick. What's up with this? Would you mind taking a look at this?
Ah! Our scroll! Our precious scroll! What on earth have you done to it?
No, it wasn't me.
You there! Miss Von Karma! Time to take out that whip of yours and teach him a lesson.
With pleasure, sister. Bad boy. You need to be taught a lesson, Phoenix Wright.
Oh, someone, anyone, help.
Okay. Let's see if we can get at this at all.
True identity.
This. Miss Doonham had this charm with her at all times.
Where did you?
This isn't some cheap good luck charm either.
Then, what do you think it is, Mr. Wright? What could a talisman like this possibly mean?
It's a talisman, is it? Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
This thing speaks volumes about who Miss Doonham really was. This talisman and one other item unequivocally prove Miss Doonham's identity. It's still there. The painting is obscured by this gravy stain at the moment. But this scroll shows the master of the Crane channeling technique. The crest at the top is a sign of that honorable title. The very same crest that adorns the talisman the victim carried with her. This crest is reserved for the master of Karain,
Who on earth told you that nonsense? I've got no idea who you're talking about.
The new master, Maya Fey, told me.
What? You mean that Alkalet is Misty Fey's daughter?
Yes.
Are you sure?
Yes. In fact, since her eldest daughter passed away, Maya is Misty Fey's sole successor.
Mystic Misty?
Knew it.
Mystic Elise graced us with her presence about a week ago. When she showed me the talisman with that mark on it, well, I nearly fainted. No one had seen her since she disappeared 17 years ago, after all.
What is the significance of this talisman, sister?
The Kurain talisman. It's the symbol of the Master of Kurain. The bearer must carry it with them always until their death.
Until their death? So at least Dunham was really Maya's mother, huh?
She was Misty Fey, the master of the Kurain channeling technique.
The truth comes out at last. Looks like we're making some headway here.
Tell me, sister. After 17 years, why did she choose to show herself now?
Because something happened that called her out of hiding.
But what happened?
Well...
Uh-oh. Earthquake! And Edgeworth is over there!
Oh, he must be grabbing onto Gumshoe's coat right now.
Earthquake! My goodness! The inner temple! This kind of tremor might...
The inner temple?
The sacred cavern in the training hall might very well cave in! What? Maya!
It seems to have passed.
We can't just stand here and do nothing. Let's go!
What? Where?
To the inner temple, of course. Where else? Sister Bikini will finish this later, alright? Of course. You run along now. People may have been hurt. Must get some first aid kits ready.
Come on then, Phoenix Wright. They won't bar you from entering as long as I'm with you.
Thank you.
At that moment, I had the worst feeling in my gut. We just had an earthquake.
I wonder if he's alright.
You look worried. Are you thinking about Miles Edgeworth? Come on, let's go. Gotta hurry to the inner temple and... Right!
Ah! What are you doing here?
How could I have...
How do you expect us to understand it if you don't speak up? Yeah, why am I the one getting whipped?
She's gone.
No.
The defendant. Iris, she's gone.
Gone where?
She fled. She escaped.
What?
That's not good for the whole innocence thing.
So, it was just now during the...
It's easy to see Edgeworth's one and only weakness. It's fear of earthquakes. I should have known better than to escort the defendant alone. As soon as the ground started shaking, everything went dark before my eyes, and I stupidly passed out. The incident haunts you to this day, doesn't it? There's no excuse for letting the suspect get away. Oh, I can't believe I let it happen. Right, the inner temple area is a dead end. She could only escape to this side.
We haven't seen her.
We need to get a manhunt underway now, and search Eagle Mountain from top to bottom.
Wait, Edgeworth.
Have you thoroughly checked the inner temple yet? Don't be ridiculous. Why would I? The inner temple is like an island. There's no way to escape but to cross.
No, that's not it.
Iris isn't the type of person to run away, Edgeworth.
What are you talking about?
Sister Bikini mentioned something when we were with her. She said that the sacred cavern might have caved in because of the quake. Then you think Iris might have gone to the inner temple to check on the situation? Listen, Edgeworth. I'm sure she's at the inner temple. Manhunt's not necessary. Right. Let's not waste any more time. We need to get to the training hall sacred cavern now. Alright, let's go. Fortunately, the sacred cavern hadn't caved in, but what we found was something none of us could have ever expected.
More locks. Iris put up more locks? How can there be even more locks? What is the meaning of this? Iris, what the fuck are you doing? Iris. Iris, please tell me. Tell me why you're nothing but a crazy lady. What the hell is going on? To be continued. What do you mean to be continued? Okay, this is still the investigation. I thought this was going to be like a quick investigation, then back to the trial. Clearly, I was wrong. So like, I'm trying to figure out if I should stop or not, because if we stop here and this is like 5 minutes and then a trial, then it's like that's not really a ton for the next Ace Attorney stream, you know? But if this is also like a lot longer, then it's enough and we could stop here, but I don't know. I don't know. Let me ponder my orb and think about this for a hot second. Ponder the orb while Larry Boots thinks about his life. Key to investigation. Okay, so there's an investigation. I'm looking at headers on the guide. Then there's... Oh, there's a lot more. There's like 3 sections of the trial, it looks like. So there is plenty of time, or like plenty of stuff for the next one. So cliffhanger ending, and we'll pick it up on Monday, and that will be the last Ace Attorney stream, because this is the last case with within the trilogy, I think. Man, see, I got dressed up as Edgeworth because I was like, oh cool, finish it off, you know, dressed in costume. But I guess next time will be different. Maybe I'll get the VTuber rig again for Phoenix going, just for fun. I don't know. We'll see. I think I still have it. I think, pretty sure. Yeah, it's in my downloads folder. I have the Phoenix Wright V-Roid. So yeah, we'll do that to cap it off on Monday. I'll try to make up for the fact that we're stopping at a cliffhanger by doing something special. But any hoodles, let me just you know, go through these cool images and remove them all. Our moose steak man, our brand new meme of poor Larry Butts. We don't need the cooking, we're good on that. Though I do think that one in particular is like good for this game, honestly. Feels relevant. In case you didn't see it earlier, when I googled for Edgeworth to get a picture to make sure I was dressing up properly for him, I misspelled it and found out that there's a village named Edgeworth because the British don't know how to spell. Which one's this? Oh, those are just the eyes. Ah. And then we have Mr. Big Forehead. He was trendy on Twitter. That's how I discovered who this person is today. So, yeah, that's always fun. Super Mecha? Oh, right. Okay, cool. All right, I think we're done here, even if Edgeworth is not. But let's exit the trilogy, call it good. Cool. Well, we'll pick it up again next time. We are 89 hours into the trilogy game, apparently, looking at my playtime on Steam. So that's kind of fun, I suppose. So probably another 2 hours or so, maybe a little bit more, depending on how stupid I am on Monday. But I expect for us to be able to finish it next time, because I'm gonna guess that like the 3 stages of the trial are gonna be like, you know, not quick, but I think we should be able to finish it within 2 to 3 hours. So it should be okie dokie. As far as plans for the rest of the week go, tomorrow is Thursday. There is trivia for me tomorrow. My friends are missing me from the 2 weeks that I haven't gone for, you know, various reasons. So I'm gonna go do that with them and then come back probably like between 8:30 or 9, maybe a little bit later than 9. I don't know. I think I'm gonna play Eldest Souls tomorrow. It's either gonna be Eldest Souls, that game that I played before with the big smacky Dark Souls pixel bosses, or something different. I'm specifically staring at my Steam library at a real cool game that's directly above that one. You can see right here, Elder Scrolls Morrowind. I don't know, maybe it's a big maybe. I've still been going back and forth on whether or not I ever want to stream some of that, but I have been enjoying it recently. I wouldn't mind getting a little bit more time in my day dedicated to it. I'm probably going to go play it right now, to be honest. Like, I'm going to sign off, like, burn AP in phone games, and then probably boot up Morrowind for like an hour before I go to bed. But we'll see. And then Friday will be Friend Code Friday again, is the plan. So I'm planning on playing Splatoon some more, which should be a good time. Because it was fun last time, and it continues to be fun, even though I have to like get good at the game each time, but it'll be good. So anyway, that's the plan for the week. And then Monday will be the next Ace Attorney. So whether or not I dress up and use the V-Rig, I don't know. Oh, it's too bad that Edgeworth isn't the prosecutor, actually. Because if he was, then I could use both at the same time and have, like, put the Phoenix Wright VTuber on one side of the screen and then have myself dressed as Edgeworth on the other side and then, like, object at myself. Anyway, have a good rest of your day, rest of your night, whatever time it is, wherever you are. And I will catch you later. So have a good rest of your day. Bye for now.